we stand on the shoulders of giants. The past creates the opportunities we claim.
Fly in the lineup. And Illinois is headed to Pasadena.
Just 122 left. That's outstanding.
We will continue the legacies from the past. What Illinois has been.
And the Big Ten championship is in Champaign.
What it means to represent the Fighting Illini.
Now hitter for Kenny Hoffman.
Guaranteed a medal. Yes!
Welcome to the Illinois Athletics Hall of Fame.
Please welcome to the stage tonight's MC, a morning anchor on CBS Chicago and former Illini basketball manager, Ryan Baker.
You once again this year for the Illinois Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2023, the seventh illustrious group of Illini greats to be inducted into this truly exclusive club. So right now, before we get going, can we give all of our honorees a big round of applause? We're going to do that throughout the night, but this is a very, very special occasion to all of our honorees. Do you remember what it felt like when the first time you put on that varsity eye jacket and the pride you had when you walked around campus with that big orange eye and you knew that, hey, you were the big man or big woman on campus? Well, this group and this club that you are about to take part of is even more prestigious, and you should be very proud of your accomplishments. I'm sure you're flooded with memories of all of the blood, sweat, tears, practices, the wins, the losses, the highs, the lows, your teammates, coaches. I'm sure all of that is coming. Those emotions are coming back tonight. So I look forward to hearing your speeches as the night progresses. That's always the highlight of this event for me. And I'm very, as I said, very grateful to be back. This is the seventh class going in, and I believe this is the fourth or fifth time that I've been asked to serve as your master of ceremony. So from being part of Illinois athletics, again, if there was a manager's Hall of Fame, I might be on the 10th ballot. Josh, I don't know, but I'm glad to be here today and to come back to campus. We've got a big weekend. Kickoff tomorrow is at 11 a.m. Can they hear me at the Smith Center? 11 a.m. That's when the game starts. We're going to start playing because we are Illinois, right? I don't know that other school that's coming, but despite the naysayers and all of that, we have a football game tomorrow. So we want to get that energy going tonight and understand that what they're playing for, that passion, that is what elevated these Hall of Famers to the higher heights they are today. Before we get started with the festivities, I do want to run through a few housekeeping items and this year's class and everything that we have going. For those of you in the stands, there are restrooms open in the main concourse behind you. If you didn't receive one of those wonderful posters or a program, the commemorative poster, they're located in the main lobby. Make sure you grab one of those. Those are some great keepsakes. But without further ado, to kick things off tonight, I want to bring to the podium our esteemed athletic director, the man with the vision who leads all of our athletic programs, who delivered the mantra, "We will win," and it's happening and will continue to happen. Please welcome the man who ushered in the Hall of Fame for Illinois athletics 7 years ago. Hard to believe, but here we are today. Please welcome our athletic director, my good friend, Josh Whitman.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to State Farm Center. It is absolutely fantastic to be with you yet again this year. This is, without question, one of my favorite events of each year. It's a great opportunity for us to connect with people who have left a true legacy in this place, to celebrate all that you have meant and all that you continue to mean to the University of Illinois and certainly to Fighting Illini athletics. Before I get into my remarks, I certainly want to extend a few thank yous. A lot of people, as you might imagine, go into making an evening like this one possible. I want to start with our good friend Ryan Baker. Ryan is someone who doesn't require much of an introduction. He fills a lot of different roles for us, including head cheerleader up in the Chicagoland area and somebody who bleeds orange and blue. And if you were here when the video was playing earlier, has been the MC for this event on a number of different occasions, including during the inaugural induction back in 2017 when he brought the likes of Dick Butkus up here to the microphone. And so, Beck, thanks so much for all you do, and really grateful to him for being such a proud Illini. Also want to thank our Hall of Fame committee. As you've heard, this is the 7th time that we've done this together. We've been through a lot. We've done a lot of different iterations. We had a pandemic in the middle of all of it, yet we continue to move forward. And Marty Kaufman, Kent Brown, who are sitting over there, have led that committee really since we started it back shortly after the beginning of my tenure. Kevin Mitchell and Chris Tuttle have both been very involved through their connections with our alumni, our Varsity I organization. Daryl Miles and his group do all the great video work that you'll see over the course of tonight. Bobby Busboom, Kylie Burton on the event side and a lot of the logistics, and so many others. Connor Tomko is a new member of our team helping with the Hall of Fame events this evening and throughout bringing some of the PR and publicity to this weekend's group. But so many people from DIA come together to help create and facilitate the Hall of Fame experience, and I know from the past that our Hall of Famers tonight will have a truly special weekend, one that will give them and their families a lifetime of memories. And I want to thank our staff for all they do to make this evening possible. Also want to recognize our State Farm Center crew. Doesn't this place look fantastic? It's just an absolutely beautiful venue. The standard of excellence in this building is high, and every time we come in here, whether it's to hold a basketball game or a banquet like this one, it really continues to raise the bar, and so grateful to them for their tremendous work and diligence. Also want to thank our lead corporate partner, State Farm, not coincidentally, has been the partner of this event since its inception back in 2017. Very grateful to them for all that they have done over these many years. Want to extend a heartfelt welcome to our former Hall of Famers, or not, you're never a former Hall of Famer, our former inductees. I believe we have one in attendance tonight. David Williams is with us. David, thank you for being here tonight. As I mentioned, this is the 7th class in the Illinois Athletics Hall of Fame. With tonight's inductees, we'll bring the total membership to 135 people. You think back over 130 years of history, and it really is the elite of the elite. People who have done the hard work, put in the sacrifice, but transformed that work, that skill into incredible performance, great results, things that have transcended time and given us reason to be here this evening celebrating all that they have meant to this special place. Included in this class, a few of the highlights. We have first-round draft picks in both the National Football League, the National Basketball Association. We have NCAA champions, NCAA record holders. We have Big Ten champions. We have Olympic medalists with us tonight. We have prolific professional athletes, celebrated coaches. And I will tell you on a personal note, and this is something that bothers me, maybe just me, also for the first time, we have one of the student athletes who was a student athlete since I became the athletic director. And so that means that either I've been here a really long time or I'm starting to get old. And I think both are coming to be true. And so, Nicole, congratulations. You've made me a very old man very quickly. The thing that really is exciting for me, and we have an event on these Hall of Fame weekends, we bring everybody together for a luncheon this afternoon. And as I told our honorees, that has become a highlight moment for me because I get to sit like a fly in the wall in the room and listen to the honorees tell stories and talk about their experience, connect with one another. And that gives me a great opportunity to get to know them on a different level. Everybody comes here with different connections to the university. Some of our honorees I know really, really well. Others I don't know as well. And through the course of that discussion over lunch, people reveal a lot about themselves. They tell great stories. They share their insight, their experiences. And the thing that gives me tremendous pride isn't so much the things that happened in the competitive arena. We all understand that list is long. The list of accomplishments is truly remarkable. But I think the thing that makes me proudest as the athletic director, as a very proud member of this Fighting Illini family, are the people that they are, the way that they lead their lives, the husbands and wives that they become, the partners, the parents, the community members, the successful professionals, the things that they have done in their life after sports that have really set themselves up to make a difference in society. I told them we don't expect anything back from them for their Hall of Fame recognition other than one very simple thing. We need their presence. We need our student athletes today to see from them what their time as an Illinois student athlete will mean after the lights go off, after they have to hang up their shoes, after they have to walk away from the sport that has been so central to them for the rest of their life. These are the living, breathing embodiments of what it looks like to take the experience as a Fighting Illini student athlete and translate it into that moment that the rest of life begins. And so the only thing we ask from them is to be present, to be around, to be an example for our current and our future student athletes. The thing that I relayed to them today is that they may not realize it, but we talk about them all the time, not necessarily by name, but in substance. I had the opportunity, I've had a crazy day. This happens on Fridays before home football games a lot. I've been running since early this morning with a lot of different meetings and being around a lot of people. And one of the groups that I've met with a lot today are recruits. I've met with numerous recruits from 3 or 4 different sports. I'll meet with some more tomorrow. And I always ask, of course, well, what is it about Illinois? What makes Illinois so special? And I always talk about 2 things. I'd say, number one, if you come here and you do something special, you make a mark. You write something in that record book. You turn a program around. This is a place that will never forget you. This is a place that will celebrate you for the rest of your life. It's one of the really cool things about a place like the University of Illinois is we have a very long institutional memory. And so there's a chance for a legacy here that I think is truly unique. And number 2, I talk about the people. And I say, you have to understand, when I was sitting in the recruiting chair, I thought that this was a 3 or a 4 or a 5-year decision. What I now understand all these years later, after my career was over, this is a lifetime decision. And when you get in that car or on that plane after your visit is over, the thing you have to ask yourself isn't, where do I think I can go be the best player I can be? It's, where are the people who I want to be a part of my life for the rest of my life? And these are the people that I'm so proud are part of our lives here on our campus. You, again, are the embodiment of Illinois athletics. You exude the hard work, the commitment, the sacrifice, the excellence. When we talk to recruits, we tell them, by virtue of coming here, you are raising your hand and saying, I want to be one of the best in the world. You guys answered that call. You were one of the best in the world. You were one of the best that's ever been. You did that here at the University of Illinois, and we are incredibly indebted to you for the work and the effort and the example that you have set for all the generations who have followed already and who will continue to follow for years to come. So congratulations on behalf of all of us here. Thank you for all you have meant and continue to mean to this place. We are so proud and so excited to celebrate each and every one of you this evening, and we're just thrilled that you've made the time to be here with us tonight, and we look forward to a great time over the course of this weekend. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great night. ILL.
Josh, thank you so much. And one thing to remember, just like our inductees and honorees tonight, Josh Whitman also wore the uniform, was a standout player. And you cut him open, that orange and blue blood would be flowing all through the State Farm Center. I know all of us here probably still call it the Hall, right? But, right? Gonna go old school. That's it. Well, without further ado, let's begin meeting and hearing from the stars of the show, our honorees tonight, the inductees in the class of 2023 Illinois Athletics Hall of Fame. You'll get a chance to hear from each of our Hall of Famers who are present, and we'll have a chance to recognize the remaining members of this incredible class who are unable to attend tonight's ceremonies or are no longer with us, unfortunately. Several will have representatives from their families accepting their honor on their behalf. Each member of the Hall of Fame class will receive a spectacular bronze statue sculpted by U of I graduate George Lundeen, who, as many of you know, designed the Red Grange and the Dick Butkus statues that grace the entrances of Memorial Stadium and the Smith Football Performance Center. Of course, you'll see both of those things when you attend the game tomorrow. You can't miss either one of them, truly larger than life. These awards are just fantastic pieces of art, and each one takes a slightly different form since each and every one are handmade. They're truly a precious memento from being a Hall of Famer. Again, we have a fantastic class, so let's get to it and get tonight's activities underway. Our first honoree was a leader on the Illini softball team and also amongst her other student athletes across all sports on campus. She was honored with the 2017 Big Ten Medal of Honor. Please direct your attention to the video boards as we welcome to the stage our first honoree, Nicole Evans Casley.
Nicole Evans Casley, softball. As one of the great hitters in Fighting Illini softball history, Nicole Evans earned All-America status as a senior in 2017. She is Illinois' career leader in home runs with 52, runs batted in, and second in total bases. An outstanding student, Evans was named the 2017 Arthur Ashe Female Sports Scholar of the Year and was named the Big Ten Medal of Honor recipient from Illinois.
Earlier today, I still can't call him just Josh, and he's told me that Mr. Whitman is an absolute no. So when I got the call from Josh Whitman, I was completely speechless. Everyone who knows me knows that I am not a quiet person and almost never lost for words. But I sat in that moment, having just moved into our home in the suburbs of Chicago, all the way from Texas, having just found out I was pregnant, having so much to be thankful for and humbled by. I thought back to my freshman year, only DHing and at times riding the bench, questioning if I could be as good at this level as I had been previously. I thought back to summers I spent in the Illinois weight room and consistently watching film for the first time in my life, just to get consistently and incrementally better to earn my spot each and every year after that. The travel, the exams, and the classroom, lots and lots of cold tubs, and even a sprained ankle, my only college injury during my senior year by a fifth grader at community service, who proved to me that he did in fact have the better hops. All the challenges were worth it because they gave me the best memories that I could ask for, the best friends, and the best alma mater in the world. So I have to start by thanking my family, all my parents whose only vacations were to softball fields, and they've seen a whole lot of them. All my brothers who've always corrected their friends when they say baseball instead of softball, thank you. And my husband, a fellow former Illini athlete, who when we were just friends would take videos of me during conditioning just to remind me how slow I was. But at the same time, has always been the person that I turned to in tough times and supported me. Thank you all so much. Now, I may be a little biased, but I also think that I have the best program and team on this campus. I have to thank Coach Sullivan, Coach Tobias, and Coach O'Connell for recruiting me and, not just starting, but growing the program at Illinois. I also have to thank Coach Perry, a huge thank you to head coach Tyler Perry, who instilled the expectation of winning, pushed us to new levels, and continues to treat us as family every time she sees us. To Coach Trout, who kept my head level and somehow taught me things that I just never thought that I could learn about the game of softball. And thanks are not enough, but all I have to offer to the Illini softball players who came before me and taught me what it meant to wear the orange and blue. To Jenna Hall, Z, Hannah, Nikki, Allie Bauk, and just my amazing class of 2017, Gunny, Bree, and Ruby, I would absolutely not be here without them. This is an absolutely amazing award that somehow has my name on it, but more than anything represents an amazing group of women spanning over 20 years of softball at Illinois who could just as easily be standing up here with me. Now, I also have to thank DIA. A huge shout out to Kevin Mitchell and all the work he does to keep us connected with Varsity I, and especially the donors across this campus who've made all of this possible. You know, I stepped on campus back in 2013 on an academic and an athletic scholarship. Even with the absolutely amazing work that's done at Illinois, it's still a challenge for many students and student athletes who want to be an Illini to get here. So thank you for your support, because you've allowed me to stand up here today completely humbled by the Hall of Fame class that I get to be inducted with. There are and will continue to be big things happening here at Illinois, and your support is what makes all of this possible. Well, I think I've reached my time. I feel some small feet kicking me in the stomach, so I'm going to wrap up. Thank you all so much, and go Illini.
Nicole, congratulations. Our next member is recognized as one of the best defensive backs in college football history. He set an NCAA record that may never be broken and already holds membership in the College Football Hall of Fame. Let's learn a little bit more about Fighting Illini legend, Al Broski.
Al Broski, football. Al Broski earned consensus All-America honors in 1951 and 1952 after helping the Fighting Illini to the 1951 Big Ten title and subsequent Rose Bowl victory over Stanford. More than 70 years later, Broski continues to hold the NCAA record with 30 career interceptions and a remarkable streak of an interception in 16 consecutive games. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1998.
Able to get a few thoughts from award-winning sports writer, longtime Illini writer here at the News Gazette, Lauren Tate, on Broski's legacy at Illinois.
During the Al Broski heyday, first of all, he was a little older than a lot of the players that he'd come back, and he played on a team that was set up for him to make interceptions in this sense that they played a 6-2-2-1. This is Ray Elliott's defense, and the two halfbacks on either side of him were Herb Netherly from Hoopson and Stan Wallace, a great player from Hillsborough who went on to play professionally. And he just kind of roamed like a center fielder one side to another, and he had the good fortune to catch, I guess it was 30 passes, interceptions in 29 games. So he was very consistent that way, but it was amazing because of the number of passes that were thrown in that era were far less. So if I was going to guess, if you see 30 passes thrown by a quarterback these days, I'd say it'd be half of that back in the 1950s. Al Broski stood out on those teams, particularly the Rose Bowl team, because of the numbers and those interceptions. But we had Borio at linebacker, we had Ulrich at a tackle, we had Karras running the ball, we had a lot of good football players on that team, and it just so happened in an era, by the way, when Illinois was winning championships and everything in those early 50s, and I mean so many different sports, and he was a star, because of the numbers, but it was a situation. He didn't play any offense; it was strictly defense, and he played strictly safety. I don't think that the Broski record will ever be broken. The consecutive one is the tough one. Now, he had 15 consecutive games in which he had interceptions, 29 overall, plus the one in a bowl game, so that's 30. But I think that the streak is just almost if a team intercepts one or two balls in a game, that's terrific. Illinois just played a football game against Toledo and had one interception. It was a big one, but you don't see that very often. And to have it consecutive like that is just amazing. It really went over 2 seasons, so amazing.
15 picks, 15 games in a row with a pick. That is an incredible stat. Now, please welcome to the stage Al's daughter, Lauren Inendino, who is accepting the award on behalf of the family. Laura. Grandson Danny. Quick programming change, but congratulations nonetheless. Another round of applause for Al Broski. I know we recognize David Williams, a Hall of Famer in attendance, but also want to recognize Mary Henson, of course. Coach Lou Henson went in. Hey, Mary, good to see you. Had to just recognize you to say hello. Of course, you know you're a Hall of Famer in all of our books, so great to have you with us tonight. Our next honoree was the team MVP and an all Big Ten performer, and went on to make quite a name for himself during a 15-year Major League Baseball career that saw him win 3 World Series titles and make 2 All-Star appearances. Please focus on the video board now as we introduce our next Hall of Famer, Ken Holtzman.
Ken Holtzman, baseball. In his 1 season on the varsity at Illinois, Ken Holtzman was named 3rd team All Big Ten and team MVP honors in 1965 before enjoying a 15-year Major League Baseball career. In 1965, he led the Illini with 6 wins, 57 innings pitched, and 72 strikeouts. He was then drafted by the Chicago Cubs and later helped the Oakland Athletics to win 3 World Series titles and was a 2-time All-Star. Holtzman pitched 2 no-hitters for the Cubs and was a 20-game winner for the A's in 1973, on his way to compiling 174 career wins with the Cubs, A's, Orioles, and Yankees.
Ken Holtzman currently lives in the St. Louis area, but was unable. Due to some health challenges, we were, however, able to record some special comments from Dave Krause, a former Illini teammate of Ken's, as well as a couple of Chicago Cubs teammates who I think you might find familiar.
Kenny Holtzman, the way to go guy. I was with you here in Chicago, and of course we were together at Oakland A's. And congratulations on being in the Hall of Fame.
Hey Kenny, it's Fergie. How you doing? I heard that you weren't feeling real well. You know that we missed you, especially in '72. In that trade that you went for Rick Bundy to Oakland, you were the key to give Oakland that opportunity to win them 3 championships in a row, 72, 3, and 4. And I know you won one year you won 20 games. I mean, you had a sensational career. I watched those no-hitters you threw. Hey, that last no-hitter you threw against Atlanta, no strikeouts, and the last hitter was Aaron. Hit that ground ball to Glenn Beckert, your old roommate. Hey, I hope you'll have a quick recovery. Get well, big fella. Love you, Fergie.
In the spring of 1965, I had the privilege of playing baseball with Kenny Holtzman, who was a member of the U of I baseball team coached by Lee Albrock. He stood a slender 6'1" and didn't have any distinguishing features except he had big hands. The big hands allowed him to grip the ball and throw these devastating curveballs that batters had really difficult hitting. From the outfield, I observed many times how our opponents looked silly trying to make contact with the ball. That year, we played 23 games, 14 with the Big Ten, and 9 non-conference games. Ken's record was 6-2. He pitched 57 innings and struck out 72 batters. That's amazing. He was a strikeout machine. That summer, he was drafted in the 4th round by the Chicago Cubs organization, and he had a fabulous career thereafter with many teams. Among his notables, he had 3 World Series champions with the Oakland Athletics, and he pitched 2 no-hit shutouts for the Chicago Cubs, which hadn't been done since 1880. A few years ago, I traveled down to St. Louis with Dan Hartwood, who is the current coach of the baseball team, and a teammate, Paul Cook. And we got reacquainted with Ken at the time, and he was honored by the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. He was recognized for not only his contributions to baseball, but his other personal attributes. One of the nice things that was said about him was that in the summer, when he got drafted by the Cubs, he allocated some of that money to pay back the University of Illinois for the 2 years of scholarship that he didn't utilize. Not many people would have done that. Ken Holtzman was an amazing pitcher, but he's even a better person.
Ken Holtzman. We're going to get down to St. Louis in the very near future to visit Ken and deliver his Hall of Fame trophy personally. But tonight we're pleased to have 2 of Ken's Fighting Illini teammates here with us to accept his Hall of Fame award on his behalf. Please welcome Paul Cook and Dave Krause as they come to the stage representing Ken Holtzman. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Our next Hall of Fame honoree, Jack Trudeau, who is being joined by his brother Kevin as they make their way to the stage. Jack, we really appreciate you being here tonight, particularly because it was just a couple of weeks ago you were back on campus for that spectacular 40th reunion of your Big Ten championship game, championship team, and that Rose Bowl season. So glad to have you back on campus. I know it feels like home having you back and seeing number 10 back with us with the orange and blue. Who remembers that Rose Bowl season? Perfect Big Ten campaign, 1983. So many fantastic memories. I believe do we have a video for Jack?
Jack Trudeau, football. Jack Trudeau helped lead the Fighting Illini to the 1983 Big Ten Championship and Rose Bowl with a perfect 9-0 conference record, the only time in Big Ten history that one team beat all other conference schools in the same season. A 3-year starter for the Illini, he earned second team All Big Ten honors in 1983 and 1984. Before enjoying a 10-year NFL career with the Indianapolis Colts, New York Jets, and Carolina Panthers. Trudeau finished his Illini career as the school's all-time passing leader with 8,725 yards, 797 completions, a completion percentage of 64%, and 55 touchdowns.
This is an amazing honor, one that most of us in this room probably never thought we could have this kind of an honor bestowed on us by our university. You know, I didn't come to Illinois to be a Hall of Fame guy, to be a guy that people recognize. I came here to play football and to have fun and enjoy my time. I had a great receiver, David Williams, who I want to thank personally and publicly. He was a great receiver, Hall of Famer, college football Hall of Famer. Um, great to have guys like that on your team. Our 1983 team, we had a lot of players like that. Craig Swope, Mike Kevin, I can go on and guys that belong in this Hall of Fame that were great players and outstanding people. And from the standpoint of a football team, that team was as good as they're going to come. We won those 9 games in a row against 9 Big Ten teams. Those games were not close. We had a couple games that were close, but most of those games were blowouts. David, we ran it up and we made things happen. David caught the ball. Thomas Brooks ran the ball. We had great offensive line, great defense, great defensive linemen. It was the funnest year in any of our lives that were on that team. So with that being said, I would like to start the night by, first of all, congratulating all of you that are in this class and know that you deserve this honor and that you feel like I do, overwhelmed and humbled by the opportunity to have this award bestowed on you. The University of Illinois is a place that changes your life, and I'm a great example of my life being changed forever for my time being spent here at Illinois. When I came here in 1981, we had played in front of 45,000 people in my first game. We thought that was pretty cool. A couple years later, in 1983, when we won those nine games, we played in front of the 4 largest crowds in Big Ten history, in Illinois history, in Memorial Stadium. And that was a wonderful time. We tore down our fans. Illini fans are the best fans of all. They tore down their goalposts, I think, some ridiculous amount of times, 8, 10, 12 times. We went and played a game in Northwestern, and we beat Northwestern, and they tore down Northwestern's goalposts and threw them in Lake Michigan. What a time that was. So, you know, my time in Illinois has got so many memories. I'm so thankful and so appreciative of the DIA and Josh Whitman, Kevin Mitchell, Chris Tuttle, and all of you that work for the school. You guys have been amazing and treated me great. I mean, I cannot tell you how great it's been. I want to thank a few people that I really need to spend a little time on. Number one, I want to start with my brother Kevin, who has taken me into his home when I've had some health trouble here lately and has been an amazing brother. And that's what brothers are for. And the thing about the Illinois fans and the Illinois people is this is like a family, and nothing tells me more that's the case when last week or 2 weeks ago we had a reunion for our Rose Bowl team, and we went down on the field to bring the trophy, the Big Ten trophy down there and be honored by the university. Kevin Mitchell did a great job. Josh did a great job. It was an amazing time, and that group of guys reconnected, and after an amazing time together as a team, it's just amazing how you can meet those kind of people in a school you go to, and they change your life forever. I've got guys that are sending me stuff to get better, to help me with my health, that were not my best friends. You know, they're my friends now. They're great friends now, but they're sending me things. And yes, my brother, they sent me dozens of things to use to help me get better. So that's an amazing thing to me, that the guys on that team care enough about each other that they're willing to do whatever they can to make each one of us live a quality life. And you know, that year was just so special for all of us. We beat Michigan in front of 76,000 fans. Imagine that, 76,000 fans. They were number 7 in the country. We beat Iowa here, 33-0. and they were number 3 or I think 3 or 4 or something like that in the country. We beat them. We beat Ohio State, where we were down and came back at the end of the game because our preparation was so good. Mike White was so good with teaching us to practice was really as difficult as anything that we did. And games were not any harder than practices. They were a time for us to go out and perform, and we went out and we were able to play and be successful because we prepared great every time we went out on the field. I would like to thank Carolyn and George Merrimack. I know they're not here. George has passed away, but Carolyn, I was hoping she'd be here. I worked for George when I was here in school. He's a great man and a wonderful Illini. I really enjoyed George and his wife, Carolyn. I would like to thank Wayne and Diane Paulson, who are also here. Wayne was a member of the 1962 Big Ten championship team that went to the Rose Bowl and beat, I think, UCLA or somebody. I don't know who they beat, but on that team was Dick Butkus. And what an honor to be inducted into a Hall of Fame that has the likes of Red Grange, Dick Butkus. That is such a class act to be a part of. David Williams, people like that. To be in a Hall of Fame with those kind of people is just amazing. And I think all of us as inductees and friends really should take this as a huge compliment and a huge honor, which is how I look at it. Like I said, I never came here thinking I was going to be a Hall of Fame type player. I came here to win games, to be a quarterback that did everything I could to win games. I came here to do the best I could do to be a football player and be a student as well. Illinois is an amazing place, and the family, friendships, and the people that you meet as an athlete in this program, it's amazing. It wasn't just football players. I met basketball players. Kenny Battle was in our weight room all the time. Just amazing. I met gymnasts. I met volleyball players. I met tennis players. I met all kinds of people that to this day I think about all the time. How hard they worked, how dedicated they were to their sport. And from my perspective, this honor is just amazing. And I am so happy to be involved in this group, to be a member of this class, to have people like David Williams here, who was my receiver. I love David, and he's been a great friend. And all the other inductees, congratulations for your opportunity to be in this Hall of Fame. What a great event this is. And at this time, I have to tell my family that's here. I have four kids, 3 sons, and my daughter who's pregnant with her second child. I'm going to be the second time I'll be a grandfather. Her son Bodie is here as well, who is making noise all over the place, running around, I'm sure, but having a great time. And I really appreciate them. My good friend Bennett, who is here as well, was a former Colts offensive lineman. And you know, us quarterbacks, David, we love receivers, but we also stick to linemen because they're the kind of guys that we can be friends with forever. And Bennett is that guy for me. He is Bob Miller and some of the guys I played with here are just great people. And Ben has been a wonderful friend, and so glad he can make it to this event tonight as a member of the Colts and come here to Illinois to be a part of this ceremony. Truly an amazing guy. I want to thank my family, my brothers who are here, my brother Mike, my brother Kevin, my brother Scott, that have helped me in this time of my need. My brother Kevin, who's really gone out of his way. My son Bo, John, Trey, my daughter Danielle, they've done their share too, done their part to make their dad's life a little easier. And I'm just so humbled by the whole fact that I'm able to have these kids as my family, my group of people, and my friends who are just amazing people as well. My brothers, family is so important in our lives. And the University of Illinois is a family atmosphere that you feel as an athlete. It grows every day. You're a part of it. Every time I come over here, I love coming to Illinois. My son loves Illinois, even though he went to Indiana. He loves coming over here to games, and they've always loved coming over here to games. And so, that being said, Illinois is a place that those of us that have put on the orange and blue and have played between the lines in the whatever sport it is, we should be honored and feel very fortunate to have been members of this program, this school, and this wonderful university. And I'm so humbled by the whole process. I'm very happy to be in this, to be a part of this. I want to thank some other people. I want to thank some friends of mine that came over from Indianapolis. They're wonderful for them being here. I appreciate them. Overall, as I said, this is just a humbling experience, and I can't tell you how, as a quarterback playing for Mike White, you'd ever get lost for words, because you get taught to be a wordsmith. You get taught to understand how to communicate and how to talk and how to do things. I'm telling you right now, I'm a nervous person standing here in front of you people. I've been on radio, national radio stations, but this is a humbling experience. And as I said, not something I ever thought I would be a part of. So I want to thank everyone for being here. Congratulations to all the other inductees. And thank you, DIA and Josh Whitman, for your support and everything. Appreciate it. I know. Kevin, yeah. I didn't know it was you coming up. David said time. You trying to cut me off?
Jack Trudeau. That was a lot of passion, wasn't it? And you could feel it. I certainly wasn't going to cut him off. I think we were going to roll the Oscars music in just a second, but that was very heartfelt and passionate and truly embodied what being an Illini is all about. And again, to be back here on campus just 2 weeks from being here with your Big Ten championship team says a lot and shows your toughness and the grit that you played with. So give it up again for Jack Trudeau. As we move along to honor the only member of this year's Hall of Fame class that comes from the Illini coaching ranks. He guided the Fighting Illini women's volleyball team for 12 years and established the program as a national powerhouse, leading the Orange and Blue to 2 Final Fours. Let's hear more now about Mike Hebert.
Mike Hebert, volleyball coach. Mike Hebert compiled a record of 323 and 127 at Illinois, leading the Fighting Illini to 4 Big Ten titles and 2 NCAA Final Four appearances in 1987 and 1988. His 1988 Illini squad was the first volleyball team east of the Mississippi River to be rated #1 in the nation, and he led Illinois to 11 consecutive NCAA tournaments. Considered to be one of the architects of modern high competitive professional volleyball, Hebert was inducted into the AVCA Hall of Fame in 2006.
2019, just a few years ago, with the encouragement of his wife, Sherry, we were able to get a few remarks from former Illinois head coach Don Harden, who was a longtime assistant coach and a close friend of Mike.
Hi, it's such a pleasure and an honor to speak on behalf of Mike Hebert and his incredible accomplishments at Illinois. I came with him as an assistant coach in the early 80s off of great football with the Mike White era. And we started at Illinois because Mike felt something special could be built here. And I think if you put it in perspective, the 30,000-foot view of what he accomplished is truly amazing. We came in our first year. We were 5-25. We won 5 matches, probably the best coaching job we did our entire time at Illinois. We were clearly not even near the best volleyball program in the state of Illinois. In fact, most Division I programs in Illinois had their way with us. Fast forward 3 years, just 3 years, and think about this, we were the first program east of California to be ranked #1 in the nation. Taking a program from the cellar to the top of the heap in just 3 short years makes Mike Hebert's story really worthy of Hall of Fame induction. I think because of what he accomplished here at Illinois during his time, the sport of volleyball grew from a West Coast sport to a national sport, and especially in the Big Ten became a prominent sport. Packed gyms, recently the most attended sport of all women's sports with over 90,000 attendees at a Big Ten institution. It's just an amazing story, and much of it started with Coach Hebert here at Illinois. Mike was a visionary, and he brought out the best in all of us. He met with each player and explained to them their capabilities in a way that was honest, trustworthy. They believed him, and they were willing to put in the work. He provided that place of hope for them to end up in a better place, and he was stable. He was compassionate, stable leader that we could hang our hat on day in and day out. We knew where he stood. We knew where we stood with him, and he was a phenomenal leader for us. Mike and I were very close friends. Our wives, Sherry and Kim, became very close friends. We were best men at each other's weddings. We knew each other personally and professionally, and that story was interwoven. And I can tell you that he had a healthy obsession with pulling the covers off every day to be competitive and move not just our team into a better standing that particular year, but to move the sport and to move the needle for everyone that was involved in our sport. And I know that this induction would mean the most to him for the role that he played in that process.
Don, thanks so much for those wonderful words. Now, please welcome to the stage Mike Hebert's wife, Sherry, to accept his Hall of Fame honor on his behalf. Congratulations. Up next, we recognize the third women's gymnast to be inducted into the Illinois Athletics Hall of Fame. This honoree shined for the Fight Illini during her time on campus from 2008 through 2011, earning 4 All-America honors. Congratulations to Melissa Fernandez.
Melissa Fernandez, gymnastics. Melissa Fernandez was a 4-time All-American, earning first-team honors on the balance beam in 2009 and 2011. First team in the all-around after finishing 3rd at the NCAA Championships in 2011, and second team on the floor in 2011. She was first team All-Big Ten in 2010 and 2011, earned academic All-America honors in 2011, and was academic All-Big Ten from 2009 to 2011.
Hello and good evening. The gravity of this is still setting in. I am incredibly honored, I'm humbled, I'm proud, and I'm deeply grateful. To go from the 6-year-old gymnast who was not allowed to compete level 4 bars to a Cirque du Soleil uneven bar performer, to go from a gymnast who had to repeat level 6 for 3 years to a D1 collegiate student athlete, to go from not competing bars or all around my freshman year to being the first NCAA first team gymnast for Illinois and the Dyke Edelman Athlete of the Year. To be seen and recognized for the 16 years of my life that I poured into the sport that was my entire life, I have no words. I am shook to my core. It's a testament to my tenacity, a direct reflection of my internal drive that is relentlessly ruthless in the pursuit of excellence, and my own discipline to myself and my team. Speaking of my team, I would not be standing here without them today. I would not be standing here without them. Being an Illini student athlete means that you are a part of something bigger. You step into a built-in, tight-knit community. And this induction may be with my name, but it's also a recognition to all my teammates and the hard work that we put in on a daily basis. A big thank you to my immediate family for traveling to be here today and the years of sacrifices that we have all made to find me here on this stage. Thank you, guys. Brad, my husband, I love you, and thank you for that glass of wine tonight. Great idea. You know me so well. Congratulations to us all for us being in the induction class. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and let's celebrate.
Melissa, congratulations. Well, track and field is one of the most decorated sports in school history, and our next Hall of Fame honoree dominated the 400 and 800 meters in the late 1950s and early 1960s. One of the greatest to ever run for the Illini. Let's get to know more about George Kerr.
George Kerr, track and field. George Kerr won back-to-back NCAA championships in the 800 in 1959 and 1960, and was a 7-time Big Ten champion in middle distances. While competing for British West Indies, he won Olympic bronze in 1960 in the 800 and 4x400 relay in the Rome Games. Representing Jamaica at the 1964 Olympics, Kerr finished 4th in both the 800 and the 4x400 relay, while breaking the Olympic record in the 800 in the semifinals. He was named the Jamaican Sportsman of the Year in 1962.
Comments from his son William leading up to tonight's induction ceremony.
On behalf of the entire Kerr family, we'd just like to thank the University of Illinois for this award. We know George loved the school, and he would be so honored to know that he is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So on behalf of myself, my mom, and the rest of the family, thank you.
Now please give a very warm welcome to William and George's wife, Faye Kerr, who traveled all the way from Jamaica, Idris, to accept this Hall of Fame award on George's behalf. Thank you. It is now time to recognize one of the best running backs in Fighting Illini football history. He led the Illini to Pasadena after being named the 2007 Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Let's meet Super Bowl champion Rashard Mendenhall.
Rashard Mendenhall, football. Rashard Mendenhall was the 2007 Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year and Silver Football Award winner after helping lead the Fighting Illini to a Rose Bowl appearance. He earned first-team All-Big Ten and third-team All-America honors his junior season before starting a 6-year NFL career after being drafted in the first round of the draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he helped the Steelers to a victory in Super Bowl 43. Mendenhall rushed for more than 2,500 yards at Illinois and set the Illini single-season record with 1,681 yards in 2007 while earning team MVP honors.
We don't have much time, and this is the only time, so I'm gonna go for it. Growing up, my mother always told me, "You are destined for greatness. The only person that can stop you is you." I took that to heart. In order to not stop myself, I knew that meant decisions. Earlier today in the weight room, Tank asked me, the strength coach, "What do you think was the thing or the key that got you to where you were?" There was only one thing that I thought about, and it was faith. It was faith. Growing up, my mom's a youth minister, and we grew up in the church. God wasn't just in our household, it was our household. Faith carried me through my entire life and my career. Whether I said it or not, whether I said God or not, you say God enough, they make you Tim Tebow. But whether I said God or not, that's what was always there. And so that faith always showed. In that, when I made the commitment to come to Illinois, we weren't very good, like at all. We weren't doing well at all. I remember coming out that year, I was the #1 high school recruit, and there were 6 or 7 other guys who were kind of uncharacteristically like notable coming from the state of Illinois. And I think 5 out of 7 of us, they were all committed to the University of Iowa. And I remember going to a photo shoot for one of the high school magazines, and they were like, "Yo, man, like Illinois is trash. Like, what are you doing? Why are you committing there?" And for me, I was really never getting recruited. I grew up in the state of Illinois, suburbs of Chicago. And just one image from when I was younger, seeing that orange end zone with those white Illinois letters, and it said Illinois. Being a kid from Illinois, I knew that was home. So when I was getting recruited in high school, I was never really getting recruited. It wasn't a choice. I knew I was coming here, but I didn't want to like blow the surprise because of how well I was doing. I was getting recruited from everywhere. I used to walk into my high school coaches, Mark Yagowski's office, just to see the letters from USC and Georgia and Miami and all these crazy places. I knew I was coming here. I knew I was home, and I was rightful for it. We were right. In that faith, our head coach, Ron Zook, came in with the message, the idea was believe. And to that point as a team, I believe 2 seasons before I got there, we were 1-11. The year after that was 3-8. My freshman year, first game when we played Rutgers, and that famous moment where for the game, E.B. Halsey is diving over one of our players and one of their players to reach to the end zone. And he scored. It was like fate. Then I knew I was in the right place. We were 1-0 and got beat dead for the rest of the season. Finished that year 2-9. The year after, we were 2-10. And people asking questions. It was crunch time. We had to do something. We believed. A man who had a lot to do with this room, Kevin Mitchell, one of our team captains, dope safety, and one of my best friends on the team. Him, like so many others, Martin O'Donnell, Ryan McDonald, the offensive lineman, John S. Moore, Akim Millington, Xavier Fulton, and a lot of those fifth-year seniors, they've seen a lot. They've been through a lot at Illinois, and it was a mix of those vets, 5-year seniors, and some young guns, Vontae, Regis Ben, Juice Williams. That kind of mixture of that skill, of a little swagger, that bravado, and some of those tough times and experience that our previous teammates had been through. You put that together, and it cooked up a pot, which was a recipe for good. Some would even say great. The culture here changed. I also had a lot to do with that. I hate losing. I didn't know that until I got older, but I thought about a moment in high school when I ran track. And we had this like makeshift 4x1 team. I was a sprinter. I was our anchor. And some guys were hurt, so we put a team together. And I remember watching our team come down the track and just thinking like, damn, I don't think we're supposed to be like moving like this. We were just getting further and further behind. And I remember on that last curve, seeing that like third anchor come in, that third leg. And I'm standing there like waiting for the baton, waiting. And this person got it and went. And another person got it and went. And I saw them down the track and I'm like, I guess we lost. But as soon as I got that baton, I said, nah, somehow we won. These cats were halfway down the track and I crossed the line first. Still don't know how that was done, but I have faith. In high school, my coaches challenged me. I wasn't alone. My head coach was in the building in high school, Mark Yagowski. I remember a time after a game, we were watching film in a film session, and there was a play where we were losing in that game, and there was a young man, he called an interception in front of me and took off, and I was just so upset because it was like a bogus pass by the quarterback. I was so upset. It's like, what are you throwing that to? Dude's halfway down there. I just watched them score. I'm like, they got us. In the film room, Coach Ego, we called him, Goski, put that play on the film and just played it. Paused it, rewind it, played it again. Didn't say a word. Paused it, rewind it, played it again. He stepped back, looked at the TV, and just jumped up and punched the TV as hard as he cared. Like the big old TVs back in the day, punched it. I'm like, man, that had to hurt. And he just went off. He was like, what do you call this? You call that effort? You're supposed to be a D1 prospect? These guys in this team look up to you and you're supposed to be the best, and you see that guy with the ball and you don't chase him? That's horse bleep. Rashard, I better never see that again. There's a play in the NFL where we're playing the Kansas City Chiefs on the 10-yard line. There's an interception thrown and the guy coming out the end zone. And I look up and I see him running. I'm on the other side of the field. He's taking off. It's 90 yards between us. I get him before he gets to the end zone. Coach, I attribute that play to you. No way else letting him go. Another coach of mine who's here in this room, Coach Joe Galambos. He showed me what it means to be a pro way before I had the opportunity to be a professional. His wife, who's here as well, Mrs. Columbus. Hello there. She would record all the games, our games in high school. So each time we would play a game, and after the games, like, win or lose, I was so excited to take that shower to get dressed and go to my coach's house, because me and him would sit down no matter where the party was at, what everybody else was doing. I know after every single game, me and Coach Joe would sit down and do film. We sat there, and in that time, I'm having crazy games, 400-yard games. I'm Randy Moss and people who don't even play receiver. I'm jumping over people, catching the ball in the end zone. And all those highlights and all those plays, that was never our focus. Each time we looked at that field, we were critical and seeing what was the hole in my game? Where on this film can we find where you can do better? Every step, every inch, that search for improvement never left. And thank you, Coach Joe. You showed me that. Illinois tradition in and of itself, for me, is a win. Whether the teams are winning and losing, when I committed to this university and just even being here in this room, regardless of what our record is, just by the nature of who is here, you guys who's come to this university, to be honored among the likes of George Hallis, Dick Buckus, and Red Grange, the Galloping Ghosts. Just being here, for me, is a win. I'm honored to receive this honor. And it took me a while to get here. Because in the face of everything that I've done, there's still someone or something that will say you're not enough. Because you're not enough. Dog, I'm so good at so many things I couldn't even stand up here and tell you and list you. You can literally type it in and look online. I've killed everything they put in front of me. It's my third year in the NFL. It's 2010. I'm our starting running back. I firmly established myself. We're going into this year, and we have a quarterback who's out for the first 6 weeks due to a decision that was made off the field. It was reduced down to 4 weeks after an appeal. In 4 games without our starter, they said, what is the Steelers going to do? How are they going to? And in those 4 games, we were 1 first down away from being 4-0. We finished 3-1 in those 4 games. How did they do it? I'm leading the NFL in rushing yards and carries and everything. It didn't stop there in those 4 weeks. You finished the rest of that year. Our passing game was pretty good. Our running game was excellent. That's in the stats. Our running game was excellent. We go into the playoffs. And in order to decide this game, I'm face to face with the Baltimore Ravens defense, the best defense in the NFL besides our own. It's 3rd and 2, and we have to get in the end zone. And that gets done. They call my number, and that gets done. The AFC Championship, where after that game, Marquise Pouncey is quoted as saying, our running back, Rashard, he went out there, he did that, he handled that for us, and we needed that. Bless him. Thank him. We go into the Super Bowl, which to this day, in my bones, was the greatest game I've ever played. Not in yards or stats or acclaim. I didn't take a single false step that entire day. Every single thing I did the week leading up to that, the month of that game, I gave everything. And at the end of it, there's a play where I'm sandwiched in the backfield and I lose the ball. And they said I wasn't enough. I remember after that play running off the field, and you make good plays, bad plays. And when I lost the ball in the Super Bowl, I'm running off the field and it felt like the entire stands, it was like everybody in the stadium as the defense is running off, it was like everybody had knew or felt that I messed up. The funny thing is, or the difference, it wasn't just that stadium and those stands. It felt like there was like 20 or 30 surrounding stadiums, not just that one, because that energy is real. And I'm like, oh, wait, everybody's watching this on TV. This is the Super Bowl. Everybody here feeling like I messed up. I ran to the sideline, and there was one person that came to me. My running backs coach, Kirby Wilson, person that's supposed to come to you. He looked me in the eyes, threw my face mask in my face, and said, Rashard, was there anything you could have done on that play? Shook my head, said, no, coach. There's nothing I could have done. He said, I know. Tapped me on the head, slapped me on the ass, and I went and sat on the bench. There was nothing I could do. You take a lifetime of focus, of moments, dedication, and in sports, one moment where there's nothing I can do, and they say you're not enough. It's like my skin color. You're not enough. Today, when I was getting a tour of the Smith Center, I went into the locker room and I met one of the current players, Gabe, and I'm sorry to pronounce his name, but I'm not sure if it's Jacus or Jackus, defensive end, young guy on the rise. Something that I noticed is the way he stood there as I spoke. He listened to me when I spoke. Shortly after that, on the tour with Kevin, we went into the staff room where all the coaches were meeting, and they're preparing to beat Penn State. When I walked in, they all stood up when I entered the room. They stood up, they came to me, and they greeted me. A room full of working, professional men and women. Gabe listened when I spoke. They stood up when I entered, when I walked in. And just by being here, I knew I was enough. Josh, when you gave me that call, I was sitting in a spinning chair in my room. And I knew to expect a call from a 217 number, which is this university. And you said Hall of Fame. When you called me, I heard I was enough. I thank everyone in this room for being here, because it took me a while to accept this honor. Because at some point in my life, I had to look myself in the mirror and know that I was enough. So thank you guys for being alive, for being present. I thank this university for every single thing it's done to me, for me. And I vouched already to myself, to God, and to you here in this room, that I will give every single thing that I can to this university for the rest of my life, because it was here that I knew I was enough. These buildings are so beautiful, architecturally stunning. But this school, this university, isn't these buildings, it isn't just these streets. It's the people in it. It's us. It's you guys in this chair. And so I just thank you for allowing me and countless others to know that we are enough. ILL. Thank you.
Wow. What can you say after that? Another amazing speech. Rashard Mendenhall, Hall of Famer. Well, there wasn't much that our next honoree did not accomplish in his basketball career. He was a conference MVP, a Big Ten champion, participant in the Final Four. You see the banner hanging up in the rafters now, and an NBA All-Star. Here's more about the great Don Sunderledge.
Don Sunderledge, basketball. Don Sunderledge won the Big Ten Silver Basketball Award as the conference MVP and All-America honors after leading the Illini to the 1951 Big Ten Championship and NCAA Final Four. He was also a starting guard on the 1949 Illini team that won the Big Ten and advanced to the Final Four. Sunderledge was a first-round NBA draft pick by the Milwaukee Hawks, played with both the Hawks and Minneapolis Lakers, and played in the 1954 All-Star Game.
Died in a tragic car crash in 1961. However, Don's accomplishments should never be forgotten. Here's a little more about him and some perspective again from Lauren Tate, who was a roommate of Don's during their freshman year together here at the University of Illinois.
Well, first of all, when I enrolled at the University of Illinois after the 1949 season, I played basketball at Monticello, and I was going to go to the Beta Theta Pi, which my dad had attended down in Kentucky, and a couple of guys from Monticello were in the SIGEP, and they came over and told me if I would come to the SIGEP house as a rookie, that I could room for one semester with Don Sunderledge. And that was like somebody saying D. Brown in this era. I mean, that's how popular he was. There were two great guards in the mid-state area at that time. The other was Scott Stiegel from Milliken, and you can't believe that now, I know, but he was tremendous, and he couldn't be stopped. And Sunderledge was very much the same way, and he was a guy that I really looked up to, and you know, it was just awesome being there in that one semester with Don Sunderledge. The qualities that made Don Sunderledge stand out was his quickness, his uncanny shooting ability from 18 to 20 feet, and the way he could break down a defender with his dribble. He's what you would call now a point guard, and he was the only point guard on that 1951 team. But you got to remember, he also was on the 1949 team that went to the Final Four, and he and Bill Erickson were the guards on that team. And then we had Osterkorn and Green with the centers. We had Dwight Edelman on the team and Jim Marks. But Sunderledge always made an impact because of his quickness and the way he went to the basket. He was a driver, but he could pull up and shoot. He didn't have a jump shot, by the way. Nobody had a jump shot on the Illinois team at that time, if you can believe that. Well, as a senior now, Don was the only senior who started. Ted Beach was on that team and was basically the sixth man. So those are the only two seniors on the team. They had one junior, Fletcher from Champaign, Rod Fletcher, who was a really great rebounder and a strong forward on that team. And at this point, Bredar was backing up Sunderledge, and we had Falmer and Morris on that ball club too. And they went to the Final Four again and played Kentucky again. Just like they did 2 years earlier, 49 and 51. They got eliminated by Kentucky both years. There was a story there on that 2-point loss because Sunderledge had a driving shot at the end of the game to tie it, and the ball didn't go in, and the Illini lost, I think it was 76-74. Sunderledge was MVP of the Big Ten without any question. He was by far the best player because he was the only veteran on a really young Illinois team.
We're pleased to have with us tonight Don's nephew, Ryan Geister, who traveled from Wisconsin to be with us this evening for the festivities. He comes to the stage now accepting Don's award on his behalf and behalf of the Sunderledge family. Let's hear it one more time for Hall of Famer Don Sunderledge. Up next, we recognize a track and field champion who went on to earn Olympic medals in an entirely different sport. After moving on from the University of Illinois, please direct your attention to the video monitors as we introduce you to Asia Evans.
Asia Evans, track and field, and Winter Olympic medalist. Asia Evans was a 5-time All-American and 3-time Big Ten champion in the throws, while also competing as a sprinter. She remains as the Illini record holder in the 20-pound weight throw and outdoor shot put. Her athleticism and explosiveness led to an international career in the bobsled, highlighted by winning a bronze medal in the two-women bobsled at the 2014 Winter Olympics.
Start by thanking Josh Whitman and my University of Illinois family for this tremendous honor. My journey at U of I began in 2007. I was a track and field athlete from the south side of Chicago and transferring in from UNLV. And at UNLV, I started getting into more into shot put. I grew up as a sprinter. I came from a high school, Morgan Park High School, south side of Chicago, that really had a level that they brought to the table in track. And so that was instilled in me very early on. But when I came to U of I brought in this new dynamic with shot put. And so my first coach here was head coach Gary Winkler. And I don't know if you all are that familiar with him, but Coach Winkler is an amazing track and field coach who specializes in sprints, hurdles, and not shot put. But he took me in as this sprinter that just happened to be really good at shot put, and made all of my dreams come true in my first year at the U of I. I came in wanting to just make it to a national level, and he took me beyond anything I could even imagine. My first year at this institution, I was a Big Ten record holder, U of I record holder. I made my first international team and even qualified for the 2008 USA Olympic trials. And by no means did I think I was going to make it at that point. I was a sophomore in college, but it was still cool. So I credit a lot of my goal setting, my discipline, my determination to starting here at U of I. When I came here, I was supported. It felt like family, but a sense of I wanted to pull my seat up to the table. I wanted to hold my own. I wanted to live up to the legacy that I knew was set before me. And so you guys did that far beyond what I could have imagined. It was actually at U of I that I started my journey in bobsled as well, which is crazy because I'm from the generation where the movie Cool Runnings was a vibe. So I don't know if you guys know about that, but I didn't picture myself as a bobsledder. I thought I was going to the Olympics in track and field, but my coach, my senior year of college, told me about this sport called bobsled. This was my coach, Herb, and he was a little more on the eccentric side, so I wasn't really trying to buy what he was selling. He told me he thought I would be a great bobsledder because I had this really unique power combination. As a shot putter and a sprinter, I had this explosiveness, this speed, and that power that you need to really get the sled going, but I just didn't see myself doing it. And so fast forward to a few years later, in 2012, I was working as a sports performance coach and helping all of these amazing athletes and clients accomplish their dreams. And I just felt like something was missing. And I went to the owner of the gym and told him that I wanted to try this sport, and literally pulled out a laptop because I feel like no one knows exactly what bobsledding is. We know it exists, but it's outside of the movie, what do you really know on a elite athlete level? Because I didn't, and I still don't. But he took me in and he pushed me to that level. And from my inception into bobsled in 2012, I made my first Olympic team and won bronze in 2014, and went on to represent USA in 2 other Olympic games, 2018 and 2022. And so for me, all roads lead back to the University of Illinois. It was here where I really found possibility. I think that this school instilled a lot of excitement, yet I wanted to be dedicated. I wanted to be determined. I wanted to make sure my grades matched what my performance was on the track. And the better I performed, the further I went. And that stayed with me far beyond anything I accomplished as a student athlete, but more so as a person. I think one of the best accomplishments as an Olympic medalist is being able to stand in front of you and share my story with kids that look like me from the South Side of Chicago. And it's not because I'm here to represent you all to become USA's next bobsledder. I mean, if you want to sign up, but I think much like U of I showed me, I show you that possibility is there and you can be whatever you want to be. And if you really put in the work and dedication and believe in yourself, especially when, it's not that many people believing it around you. And so I just want to thank everyone here today for sharing this space with us. And congratulations to my fellow inductees. I want to take a second to thank my family that's here. My mom, okay, I'm 35, but my mom has been just as instrumental in my athletic career at 35 as she has when I was 14, 15, and couldn't even drive to practice. And without her, I wouldn't be a U of I Hall of Famer, let alone an Olympic medalist. And I can't thank her enough for her dedication and her support throughout my entire athletic journey and my journey as a woman. I want to thank my sister and my niece Rihanna for being here as well. My niece Rihanna is a freshman volleyball player at Whitney Young in Chicago, and she just reminds me of the excitement and the bright eyes I had around everything to come from being a student athlete and going on and aspiring for more. And so as I think about my legacy and what I leave on, I want to make sure that little girls like Rihanna can know it's possible as well. I want to thank my Champaign family, my best friend Shannon McFarland and her parents, Peter and Deborah McFarland, who really took me in and have always been my home away from home since I've been here. And to this day, they still have my guest suite ready when I'm home. So I can't thank them enough. I feel like as much as U of I has poured into me, it's made me stronger than I ever thought I could be. And it's important because, like Rashad spoke about, sometimes regardless of what we accomplish in our accolades, part of you still doesn't feel like enough. I think we can be our hardest critics, but one of the things that always stood true was the support I had from the University of Illinois, even as a Olympian. I remember getting videos of the indoor track meet, and they took a break to honor me while I was at the Olympic Games, and just the support I received and messages. So that really means a lot to me, and that's carried on into my life. And it's just as much as this university has poured into me, I hope to pour into them in return and help the next generations to come. So thank you all so much for being in this space with us, and thank you so much for this honor.
Asia Evans. Well, Illinois golf coach Mike Small has built an absolute national powerhouse right here in Champaign, in the Midwest, with several of his players still competing at a high level professionally throughout the world. Our next honoree is one of those most successful of his former players. He's both a Big Ten champion and a national champion. Please take a look at the outstanding career of Thomas Pieters.
Thomas Pieters, golf. A native of Belgium, Thomas Pieters was the 2012 NCAA golf medalist and the 2013 Big Ten individual champion. He helped lead the Fighting Illini to Big Ten titles in 2011, 2012, and 2013, and second at the national championships in 2013. Pieters was a two-time All-American and was the first Belgian ever to compete in the Palmer Cup. He represented Belgium at the 2016 Rio Olympics, finishing fourth. Pieters has become one of the top professional golfers in the world, was ranked among the top 25 in the world rankings, and earned a spot on the 2016 Ryder Cup team for Europe, winning 4 Ryder Cup points.
Currently lives in Europe, and he's still competing internationally. He tried to travel to Champaign to be here with us tonight at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, but he just couldn't make his travel arrangements work with his hectic golf schedule. However, Thomas is scheduled to fly into Chicago on Sunday, and he plans on attending the Illini Golf Classic at Olympia Fields Country Club. By the way, that Illini Golf Classic now presented by the Icon Collective. And to our Hall of Famers going in, wouldn't you like to have a little taste of NIL back in the day when you were competing? Who knows how things would have turned out. But anyway, the current golf team is going to be at that event, and we plan to honor Thomas Peters and present him with his Hall of Fame statue. Although we miss him tonight, Thomas did record a few words to share with us tonight.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Thomas Peters. I was asked to do this video because I can't be there tonight, sadly. It's a very cool honor to be taken into the Hall of Fame at Illinois. I was thinking about it for days, what I would say. It's been such an important part of my life. I still get questions about it every other day about juniors when I'm practicing at home here. They all want to go to Illinois for some reason. I really don't know why, but yeah, Coach Mall is kind of a celebrity in the Belgian golf community. I don't think he knows this, but yeah, what he's done for me, for some of the other Belgian golfers, it's been life-changing, really. I mean, the stuff he's taught us at Illinois. He was always strict with us. But he did give us our own, flexibility and freedom, and we were accountable for our own time, and he shaped us into very complete golfers, I would say. So yeah, I hope to see some of you guys soon. I will be at the Illinois fundraiser next Sunday in Chicago. I look forward to seeing all my old friends there. And thank you from the bottom of my heart again for this really cool honor. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for Thomas Peters. Look forward to celebrating him on Sunday. We've now reached our final Hall of Fame honoree for the evening, and this one is very near and dear to my heart because, as was mentioned, I'm a former student manager for Illinois basketball, had the privilege of working under Coach Lou Henson and that coaching staff. God rest his soul, along with Jimmy Collins. And this next honoree produced some of the most memorable moments ever seen or experienced in this very building. One that comes to mind is the absolutely ferocious baseline dunk against Georgia Tech in that triple overtime win on Super Bowl Sunday that vaulted Illinois basketball to 17-0 and the first #1 ranking in school history. I had a pretty good seat for all of that right there on the sidelines, but even more so, I think about the many preseason workouts and practices at Huff where the fans and public weren't there to see the absolute show that Kenny Battle put on each and every day. And, again, no fans, no cameras, no crowds, and played just as hard or harder as if it was a packed house here at the Hall with the Orange Crust screaming, and held all of his teammates accountable by how hard he worked to the point that Coach Henson created an award that still exists today, the Kenny Battle Hustle Award. He's a dear friend of mine, my brother. You know how we do it, KB, Pride of West Aurora. Flight 33, he was the heart and soul, the beloved Flying Illini. Who remembers that team in the '89 Final Four? A lot of people may not know this. KB was on one leg in that game. Really had no business playing, but willed his way to 29 points. I won't talk about the outcome. Still have some PTSD from that. But anyway, we'll move on. I think about the bragging rights game in Mizzou. We're down 18 in the first half. Again, willed the team to come back and win one of the most exciting games I've ever seen. But Kenny Battle and that Flying Illini team captivated the country, making that impressive run to the 1989 Final Four, a member of the Illinois All-Century basketball team. Let's take a look at the outstanding career of Kenny Battle.
Kenny Battle, basketball. As the face of the Flying Illini, Kenny Battle was named to the Illinois All-Century team after scoring more than 1,100 points in his 2 seasons. As a senior in 1989, he helped lead the Illini to their first Final Four appearance since 1952 and to a number 1 ranking in the national polls. Battle was a first-round pick in the NBA draft and played 4 seasons in the league. After topping 1,000 points in 2 seasons at Northern Illinois, he is also a member of the NIU Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Josh and the committee for putting all this together for us and all of the honorees. I'm blessed and happy to be going in with such a wonderful, magnificent group of young men and women, all from the University of Illinois. Rashad, I'm a diehard Steelers fan. Diehard. My family will tell you, there was many fights watching the Cowboys and the Steelers play, you know. And when you got drafted, I said one of my own is playing for one of my own teams. So I commend you on an excellent career, the way you carried yourself as a human being. God bless you, brother. My way to Illinois was different. I was highly recruited high school athlete. I could have went anywhere in the country, played for some of the magnificent teams in the country. And I was coming to Illinois up until they were my last visit out of 5 schools: Georgetown, Villanova, DePaul, Vegas. And Illinois, they say you save the best for last. My mother cooked Coach Henson, Coach Nagy, and Jimmy Collins a wonderful dinner. Sunday, they came in on Sunday, and they enjoyed their meal. We talked, and I asked Coach Henson, I said, well, Coach, how do you plan to use me next year at the University of Illinois? And he said, hey, Ken, I'm going to redshirt you. And that was the end of that conversation. I asked my mother, I said, Mom, can I be excused? I left and went to the park up the street from my house in my neighborhood. In about 20 minutes, you know, after conversing with my mom, Coach asked her, he said, hey, when is Ken coming back? And it's about 5:15, 5:30 in the afternoon. She said, oh, he won't be back till about 9:30 or 10 when the lights go off at the court. And Coach Nagy and Coach Cotton looked at each other and they said, man, I told you to leave Coach Henson down in Champaign. You know, so I went on to Northern Illinois for 2 years. And I didn't want to set out. I mean, I was hotter than a firecracker coming out of high school. And I knew a lot of college athletes that set out their first year, somehow they get lost. They don't do well academically, athletically, because it hurts them so much. And I didn't want to be one of that students that fell into that trend. So I went 22 miles down the street, Northern Illinois. The head coach coached at my high school prior to being hired at Northern Illinois. Ran the same offense that I ran in high school. So I was comfortable with it. It was close, and I have a very, very close family. Huge, but close. A lot of them are here today. Thank you guys for making the drive down. Mr. Shepard and his wife, my dean at the high school who kept me out of trouble, walked me to class, and we've been friends ever since I attended West Aurora since 1979. It's a bond and friendship that continue to last. Thank you for being there for Mrs. Shepherd. And I go to Northern, and I'm tearing the NCAA up. I'm the only freshman scorer. I was 15th scorer in the nation, only freshman in the top 15 in the nation. I averaged 22 points. I made every All-American team, Playboy, Converse, AP, all of them. And everybody is like, wow, who's this kid, Kenny Battle? And I was selected to play in the National Sports Festival, and we won a gold medal with elite players from all over every state. And we won a gold medal with the legendary coach Larry Brown. And, he was like, Kenny, you're a special young man. And Northern goes to fire my coach after the end of my sophomore year. And first call I made was to Coach Henson. And I said, hey, Coach, do you still have that scholarship available? He said, hey, Ken, yes, we do. And all the other schools was upset because I chose right away. I didn't wait. I didn't delay it. I knew where I wanted to be. And automatically they called the NCAA and said, hey, Illinois has been tampering and all of that, which they had. I called them. I knew where I wanted to go. And Coach Henson opened the arms when I came here. He said, my first day on campus, we sat down in his office right upstairs here. And he said, hey, Ken, you can be one of the best players to ever come through Illinois. He said, it's not going to be easy. You're going to be criticized. He said, but I know what you can do and what you can become. And he said, it's all up to you. He said, I have nothing to do with it. He said, it's up to you. And I took it and ran with it. My first year here at Illinois, I had to set out because of the red shirt transfer rule. I practiced 2 hours a day with the basketball team. I went to Impey from here, right across the street to Impey, and played for 2.5 to 3 hours every single day for that whole season. So I was having 2 to 3 practices every night. And let mind, I still had a 2.5, 2.7 GPA. So I didn't worry about sleep. I knew when I die, I'd be in a long sleep. So as long as I'm able to breathe, I'm going to play hard. And that's all a tribute to my mother, who's not here. She has an ailment that kept her from here. It hurt her to not be here, but I told her I'd rather have you there than suffering in pain here with me. I have my 3 sisters. I'm second oldest of 9. My 3 sisters are here with me. My brother and them, I think they're out there. My nieces are here. A host of friends and family members from my neighborhood, Westwood for life, baby. And it's just a great honor to have people that care about you. And going into my first season here at Illinois, Coach Henson said, Kenny, this is your team. He said, I'm just a coach, but these guys will follow you wherever you lead them to. And I was hard. Ryan, I tell you, I didn't mind cussing you out. I didn't mind getting in your face. I didn't care if you had an attitude. I didn't care if you didn't even like me. But you was going to play hard as long as you was on the court with me, because I wouldn't allow you to quit. And that's one of the reasons, as Ryan stated, Coach Henson implemented the Kenny Battle Hustle Award. Because I would embarrass you. I didn't care. You didn't live with me. I didn't have to go home to you. You didn't have class with me. I might pass you on campus. If you're still mad, I didn't care. But when you walked in that door coming here to Assembly Hall, your ass was mine. I won't just keep it real. Your ass was mine. And my teammates will tell you, I made them all better. Because my high school coach told me, you're only going to be as good as the players around you. And I was a player, I could average 50 points in high school. I played 3/4 of basketball for my high school team. I averaged 25 points in 3/4. And I asked my coach, I said, Coach, man, I can't get that 50 piece. He said, Battle, why? He said, only going to make you cocky, have a big head, and you're not going to learn anything fundamentally. And he and I are great friends today. He lives in Oregon. He wanted to be here, but he couldn't. And, you know, he taught me discipline. He taught me to respect the game that you love so much. And I have. And I love this university. You know, I graduated in 89. I graduated early. Actually, I graduated in 88. But I had to take classes and drop them to be eligible, you know. You know, it's, hey, you learn a lot here at the University of Illinois. You know, I didn't want my GPA to drop, so I said, hey, Coach said, hey, Kenny, take the load, drop them at the end of the semester. You'll be fine. But it made my teammates wanted to work harder because I saw them every day on the quad. You know, before the season start, I was going to Cam's for the 25-cent cognac. Oh, yeah, I was there. I waved to my teammates out on the quad. I'd be like, hey, I have a shot for y'all. You. We good. You know, but it made them want to strive education-wise because they saw that I had a whole year to work on my craft, prepare myself for the NBA, prepare to lead my team to the Final Four, and prepare to be that leader that they wanted in me. As like Ryan said, when I hurt my knee in Minneapolis, and I looked at my teammates, and I saw the disappointment in their face. And everyone that talked to the reporter, they were like, oh, Kenny's playing. We don't care if his leg broke. He's going to play. Because that's how much they entrusted in me as a leader. And Rod Cardinal is a magician, I'm going to tell you. I wasn't able to walk. Ryan spent 2 nights coming into my rooms. He had the room key. I don't know what he was doing, but he got me able to play in the Final Four. And like Ryan said, it didn't matter. I felt no pain. All I had was those 14 guys on the bench, my 3 coaches, the managers, the trainers, and that's all I cared about was them because I knew I was going to be fine. If I got out on that court, that means everybody behind me was going to give 110%. And they did. We came up short, but it was a ride. It was a great ride. You know, I have my kids here today, 3 of them. My second oldest, Kendall, my daughter, Ty, my son, Cameron. Keon's at meetings with the football team preparing for the win tomorrow. My youngest son, Casey, is down at Jacksonville State football. And my oldest son, Kenny Jr., is expecting his second child any day now. So I'm finna be a grandfather twice, but I still look good and, you know. And my kid's mom, Tiffany, is here. You know, support them, support me and everything I do and they do. And it's great when you have a great support. And then all the champagne or banner. You guys welcomed me in '86 when I transferred in, and you refuse to let me go, and I won't let y'all go. And thank you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy yourself tonight. If you're not doing anything, come on down to Neal Street Blues. Have an after party there. All right, you're all welcome. Thank you all for coming, and good night.
The one and only Kenny Battle, Flight 33. What a way to cap off an unbelievable evening in Fighting Illini athletics history. Congratulations to all of the members of the class of 2023 in the Illinois Athletics Hall of Fame. Can we stand up and give them all a round of applause? Thank you so much. Congratulations. What a group. Before we close for the evening, I want to really give a shout out to the entire team and staff to make this event happen. Marty Kaufman, thanks again for reaching out, asking me to serve in this position and your leadership. The other KB in the house, Kent Brown, we go way back as well. Great to see you. Kevin Mitchell, Varsity I, so many of our athletic department, and of course, our leader, Josh Whitman. And also the wonderful videos we've been seeing, Daryl Miles and his Illini video production staff. Let's give them a big hand. Some fantastic production. And what a setup. How about this State Farm Center? Amazing. Now, as we often do when we close Illini events, we all would like to stand and band together and sing together, Hail to the Orange. I'd like to encourage our 6 members of the Hall of Fame class, and you can come forward to the front of the stage along with Josh Whitman. If we could do that, that'd be fantastic. Of course, this is our alma mater, so there's only one way to close out the festivities. Now, if you don't know the words, as Marty told us earlier, don't worry. We'll have the words for you on the screen. It has been my absolute honor and pleasure to serve as your master of ceremonies, and hope to see you back here again next year. Go Illini! And beat Penn State. Hey, we're going to move our honorees. There we go. Once we get in position. All right, our Hall of Fame class, I think we're ready. Have a wonderful evening and go Illini.